Hi, everyone. Oh, we're right on schedule here. We're ready to start with our next presentation for this evening. I'm very excited about this one. This is really an interesting topic because we're all becoming virtual learners during this difficult time now, the Corona Zeiten. And our next speaker is Jörg Brandeis with his presentation about my first e-learning course. And just a brief introduction about Jörg. He's a BW for HANA consultant with a focus on backend processing. And since the release of his excellent book, I must say, SQL Script for SAP HANA, he mainly works as a trainer for SQL Script and SAP BW. He used the Corona-caused free time for creating e-learning courses about these topics, and he's going to share that experience with us. So thank you, Jörg. Die Bühne gehört dir.
Thank you, Andrea. So first I have to arrange my windows. Can you see the slides now?
Yes, no, perfect.
Okay, great. Hello and welcome to my talk about my first e-learning course. My name is Jörg Brandeis, and normally I talk about SQL Script, BW for HANA or ABAP, but this time I choose a different topic that is not so directly SAP related. It is how I created my first e-learning courses. This is interesting because it was not so straightforward and easy as I have expected it to be. Yeah, the motivation for this, I think we are all experts here. All of you are SAP experts, and we can do many different things with our knowledge. And yeah, I, from my side, decided to become a freelancer, and because this is you have the possibility to do different things, and one of them is creating e-learning courses. If you have time between projects or between jobs, you can do this. This is not a full-time thing, so this is what I did the last 3 or 4 months. Why video courses? 2018, I published the book SQL Script for SAP HANA, and after that, I started giving training courses, and fortunately, there was a great demand, and I shifted my activities more and more to training. 2019, 2020. Then I decided to focus only on training in February 2020. I stopped my projects, my consulting and development projects, and I said, okay, I'll focus only on training. But then came this ugly little thing, Corona, and some customers have canceled the planned training courses. Others have accepted my suggestions that we do the training online. And this was great because I could continue, but this gave me some free time for something else. One big benefit of the online trainings is that you can get recordings for all the trainings. Each training, you can just switch on the recording and then you get a film for this. And after doing the training, I cut it in smaller lessons. And I published these smaller lessons in a Moodle learning management system, only for the participants, so that each group can see the films again and again. This is a picture of this Moodle learning management system. Here you see the different lessons. And when I click on one of these lessons, you see here the video recorded and cut. This is about 1 hour, plus slides, plus sometimes I have also some source code here or additional explanations. But this is not an e-learning course. This is just a recording, and this is complementing the training. Yeah, but I'm a developer. There's an important principle in development. It's called DRY. Don't repeat yourself. Don't do the same thing over and over again. If you can do it once and do it great, and then reuse it. And this is a little bit what I did with these e-learning courses. Training, cutting the recordings, publishing it. This was time-consuming, or is still time-consuming. So the one idea behind this video courses is to have a good recording of the training material. So, okay, I had time, I had an idea about video courses, then I thought about the requirement. They should not be just a recorded live training. This is boring. If you see 8 hours film about SQL script, this is extreme boring. I wanted to make a real training, a full training with exercises, with certificates, with personal support in open office hours, with a video conference where you can ask questions. It should be bookable without manual effort on my side, because if you have a problem with SQL script at 12 o'clock in the night, you should be able to book this course immediately from all over the world around the clock. It should be, of course, of high quality video and sound. Sound is more important than video, I have learned. And there should be references to my book so that you have a training material that is offline available. And then I thought about the structure of the courses. This is not so easy. There are many different possibilities. You can do it linear, one lesson after the other, and you have to hear each lesson before you jump to the next. You can have a free navigation. You can start at the end and go back to the start, or however you want to learn. Or there's a third option, content drip, weekly new content, like in the Open SAP courses. At the moment, I have a free navigation, but I did a survey at LinkedIn, and surprisingly, the free navigation was not the favorite of most of the participants. Okay, I have only 7 votes, but most of them said, okay, they prefer a fixed order or weekly new content. This was surprising for me, but I will put this information in the next courses. Then I thought about the format here. This Open SAP format is nice when you have slides, but when it comes to code, it becomes very small because much of the space is wasted for the frame around. So I decided I don't want to do it like this. I prefer this version. So that the content is in the background and the speaker is in the front. And so you don't waste a space for frame or for pictures of the trainer, and you have the full desktop for the code. So it is, my videos are readable on a mobile phone with a good display. So that's the benefit of this. Yeah, now I want to give you a brief demo of the website, and later I come to the background, to the technical background of this, how I created it. So now I have to switch to the browser, and this is my web page. And here you see the shopping part, the shop. Here you can book a course. And if you already have booked a course, you can log in here. But first I want to go here. Here you go see the course details. And there are also free trial lessons that you can look at. The free trial lessons are about character strings and about some Eclipse tips and tricks. So you're invited to have a look at this free content. This is interesting, I think, for most of you if you are doing something with SQL script. But now I want to log in and show the inside. I have a user here, that's the name of my dog. He has booked one of these courses. And after login, I have the selection of the courses. Sorry, everything here is in German. The courses are at the moment only in German available. Later, next year, I will translate them. I have some a Canadian SAP expert who is helping me with these video courses to translate them to English. So this is the start page of a SQL script basic course. Here in all of these pages, there's a video. And this is here about the office hours. Each week, Friday, 2:30, I have an office hour and you can book. When I click here, I can book as a participant that I want to, this is not yet possible. I already booked this, I think. Yeah, the structure of the courses are weekly chapters, but it's possible to jump through the weeks. You don't have to go through it linear. The weeks are only an information. And maybe I go here to lesson, and below the lessons there are the topics, for example, case expressions. And here you see the videos plus some code examples. And when you have done a video or a topic, you can mark it as completed. And then on the left side, you see here the green check mark. And there's also always a reference to the book when you're doing these courses. So I think you have a brief impression about the how these e-learning courses are looking like. And that was what I wanted to show you now. And there are also exercises. And for each exercise, you have also the possibility to get a hint. If you don't know how to solve this, there's a hint, and you can repeat them as often as you want to. So I go back to the slides.
Okay, aber dazu musst du zuerst dein Gerät entsperren.
So, backstage. The platform for this. There are two major options when you are creating e-learning courses. One option is that you use an existing platform in the cloud, like Teachable. For example, Tobias Meyer has done this for a course about analysis for Office. I think he is also in the audience today. This is nice because it's really easy to start with such a platform. You have fixed costs, okay, but it's inflexible. And yeah, it was not the way that I did. I decided to make it self-hosted. Then I have everything under my control. I already have a homepage built with WordPress, and I thought, okay, I want to use the same plugins, the same code highlighting, source code highlighting, the same everything. The drawback is you have to control everything, and I totally underestimated which details came up during the time. There are many different aspects. Okay, self-hosted. Then the question is, which platform is the right one? Moodle, I already showed you Moodle. This is mainly for schools and universities. Even my kids are using Moodle at school. Moodle is for courses with a fixed group with a fixed start and end, and it's more complementing live trainings. But it's not so good for free booking. So it's because it was built for universities, these commercial aspects seemed to be difficult. Then I looked at LearnPress. LearnPress is a free plugin for WordPress, but sometimes the free things are not inexpensive because you need many paid plugins and everything seemed to be unstable. So I decided I use LearnDash. LearnDash is another plugin for WordPress. It's not free, but it seemed to be complete and stable and it had good ratings. So yeah, I decided to use LearnDash. And one big problem is you need much time to decide these things, which learning management system you use. This is very time consuming. Yeah, as I said, I like some of my plugins that I'm using in my blog or using in my web page, like Enlighter for source code formatting, PDF viewer, Elementor, page builder. Yeah, I decided this is good enough. I don't have to look at all learning management systems. So, as I said, you have to care about each detail. One very ugly detail in a web shop is that you have to create invoices, and when you create an invoice, you need a VAT rate, value added tax, Mehrwertsteuer, and this VAT rate depends. This is not the same for everyone. It depends on the country where the private person lives, which VAT rate is the right one. And we have many different countries in Germany. Okay, this map is not only in Europe, this map is not only Europe, but you see we have dozens of different countries, and you cannot, you need some support for this, and there is a plugin that can handle this. This is the WooCommerce plugin. WooCommerce is a popular web shop that is, I think it's the mostly used web shop in the world, and WooCommerce can handle these different text codes for each country. You have different text code, and in some cases, for example, US, you can also go to the state level. Okay, one plugin to solve this problem, but this was for private customers. For companies, it's totally different. Companies outside Germany, but within the EU, does not have to pay value-added tax to me, but directly to their tax office. So I don't have to charge the VAT, but I have to check their VAT number, their VAT ID. This is important. Otherwise, I have to charge VAT. So I need something that can check this VAT IDs. And of course, there's a service in the internet where you can type VAT ID. But of course, this is it's possible to do this automatic with a plugin again. This time, this plugin is called German Market Plugin for WooCommerce, and there is this Umsatzsteuer ID number check. The combinations for the value-added tax, it depends whether you are German, EU and not German or non-EU. It depends whether you are private or a company, and when you are a company, I have to check your ID. This is really ridiculous. It's it's not as easy as I expected. I tested everything with my tax accountant, showed him all the plugins and everything. I think it's correct now. I want to do a brief, a small demo about this. So I log out again. So I'm not a participant, but I want to book a new course. When I go here to book the course, I directly jump to the checkout form. This direct jump requires also a plugin in WooCommerce. You need plugins for everything there. And in this checkout form, you see here the amounts and the value-added tax. At the moment in Germany, it's 16%. This will change in January. And yeah, when I go to Denmark, I have a totally different value-added tax rate, this time 25%. And in Costa Rica, I don't have to charge value-added tax rate. So this is a way now. This is one aspect, and the other is within the EU, I have to check this ID, and this is done by a plugin with a service in the background. Okay, but I got all these plugins, problem solved. Next problem is the payment. The money must come from the customer to my pocket, and there are many different ways for this, different possibilities. PayPal, of course, is the most popular, and PayPal is built in WooCommerce, of course. So PayPal is not interesting, but PayPal is not appropriate for companies normally. Companies prefer to pay with an invoice. They want to get an invoice in advance, then they pay the invoice, and then I can let the users to my system. For this, I also need another plugin. This is again this German market plugin. And for credit card and direct debit, I need a different service provider because someone has to charge the credit card. This is not so easy, so I have Stripe as a service provider. Stripe is in the US, it's widely used. In Germany, it's always in the background, the Stripe. Okay, service providers. Of course, you need plugins for them. So this is what I said, plugins for credit card and direct debit, Stripe, invoice with German market plugin. And yeah, after technically solving all this, my tax accountant was not so surprised that now I don't have only one account, but now I need Kontoauszüge for all three accounts. Next interesting thing is the email automation, because when someone books a course, he needs his credentials to log in, he gets a welcome mail, he needs an invoice, and everything should be automated. So if you book a course, you get at least 3 emails. And later, 14 days before the end of the course is always open for 90 days. 14 days before the end, you get an information, a reminder. And yeah, so now I have to speed up a little bit. This is my desktop here. This is my setting. This is these are some symbols, but this is the real one. And at the moment, I'm looking at this monitor. Here below is my main monitor. Here is the camera on I show it here. camera. This is on the monitor stand. The monitor stand has 4 arms. 3 arms are for the monitors, and the 4th arm is for the camera here. It's a Lumix camera, a Panasonic camera that is normally a travel zoom camera, but it has an HDMI output, and I have an HDMI grabber that produces the picture here, 4K, so the resolution is really good. So next one, this is the camera perspective. Here you see the green fabric behind me. This is also where I'm standing now, in front of this camera. Here you see the perspective of the camera with the green screen. One very important ingredient for video recording is light. You need as much light as you can get. I have 2 of these lights on the ceiling. Very important is also a microphone for good quality. Today I don't have one of them, but when I'm sitting on my table normally for video recordings, I use this one, and this one is when I stand in front of the camera, then I have the microphone here on my kragen. Okay, now I have video and audio, and now I have to synchronize both of them. I really hate videos where the mouth is moving and later the sound starts. They must be synchronized. And in my case here, the delay between microphone and video is 80 milliseconds up to 300 milliseconds. And this changes all the time. So I do normally a test recording with a clap. I have here a clap, wake up, and I record this. And later I look at this small video, 2 seconds video, and I find out what's the delay between the clap and the picture, and then I adjust this parameter, this delay. The software, I use OBS Studio. Right now I'm using it. This is very good for green screen things. It's good for live streaming. OBS Studio is a really great free software. I can really recommend it. The next thing after recording is the processing after recording. So I have to cut everything or merge films. I'm using this Movavi video editor for this. I don't know whether this is the best software, but I already had it, so I'm using it still. Yeah, it's important to remove, for example, waiting times. When in the cloud you're waiting for a system, then I can speed up a little bit, or remove nose picking, as and oohs, or hide personal informations when you can see accidentally something on the screen for these things. Next aspect, video. Time is running. Video hosting, own web space, YouTube, Vimeo. It should be fast. Own web space is out. It should not be downloadable. YouTube is out. It's not downloadable, but you can share a link easily. Vimeo is a little bit more secure, but yesterday Sören showed me that it's also not really secure. You can, with the right plugins, you can, in your browser, you can also download these videos. But out of the box, it seemed to be a little bit more protected. You can decide which domains are able to embed this video. So then security.
So Jörg, sure, sorry to interrupt you. 5 more minutes for your session to have 5 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, so thank you for the information. That will fit. security and stability. Of course, a web server must be protected. It must be updated all the time. So I use a hosted web server from WebGo. The plugins must be up to date all the time. So they are somehow automated, updated. I need backups. I have a Jetpack abo and plugin for this. And of course, password strength is important, but the default of WooCommerce is unusable. You can it's so strict that you cannot easily find a valid password. So you need another plugin to make it a little bit less strict. So plugins for everything. And at the end, when you create something that depends on so different other services, of course, there are some interruptions. This week I had a problem with Vimeo. Sören told me. I also already had a problem with my web host and with the LearnDash plugin. I got fixes for everything, but yeah, it's bad that you're so dependent on others and on multiple others. So if you have one provider who sells you the whole package, of course, it's much more comfortable. Yeah, the result is nice. I have a e-learning homepage. It's looking like I wanted it. I have the first 2 courses on it, and I'm happy with this site. But it was much work. It was I totally underestimated all the 100 details. My next steps is as I told you, I have someone from Canada who will help me to translate these courses to English. In January, they should be published. I plan new courses. Of course, this depends on other projects and other things. It's very good for filling up the gaps between projects. And yeah, SQL script for ABAP developers is of course one important thing. I'm already working on this project. Next thing is advanced SQL script with the imperative things, with the dynamic SQL script. Performance optimization is also planned. And the long time vision is all my trainings should be available on this platform as a self-service, not as a competitor of my live trainings, but to complement them and to attract other customers. Of course, all trainings shall be available in English, but to be honest, for me, it's hard to, when 5-minute video took 1 hour in German, it took 3 hours to create the same thing in a good quality in English. It's not so easy. Yeah, and I also want to invite other SAP experts to use my platform. I already have one. He's thinking about doing something about calculation views. And of course, you're all invited if you have a topic that you want to publish as an e-learning course. Let's talk. Yeah, conclusion. I totally underestimated everything. But for me as a developer, it's not so bad because I like solving technical problems. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about WordPress, HTML, word processing, video processing, web shops, tax laws, and whatever. If you plan something similar, we should talk. I can give you some tips. And look in the trial lessons if you are interested. If ABAP development in Eclipse is your topic, or BW backend consulting, or SQL script, then have a look in the trial lessons. And if you have an idea what you want to create as a course, you can also use my platform. You are all invited. Any questions? 5 minutes only for this.
Yeah, so I'm getting back on camera. Thank you very much for these insights. Yeah, I can feel your pain. So, and I don't think that SAP Commerce Cloud would make your pain easier. So there was no real question on the chat, but a comment from Thomas Wagner. This is a great business concept, especially during Corona crisis, but I guess you compete against nearshore and offshore competitors. That would, and what's about demo systems where the participant can practice? That might be the next logical step for a complete learning solution.
Okay, Thomas, that's an interesting, there's many interesting aspects. Number one, the competing against nearshore and offshore competitors, that's correct. I already see this problem, but yeah, I think the offer is, I already had looked at a SQL script course at Udemy, and it was not really a competitor. It had only the same headline, but when you look inside, the quality of videos, of the background, I think I'm not afraid of competitors, because I have not seen one yet, a real one. But of course, this can change. Yeah, that's a problem. The other aspect, the demo system and the training system. In both courses, I have a chapter about how to create your own system, even on the HANA Cloud. Sub-cloud platform, a HANA cloud system for the SQL script basics, and how you can create BW for HANA system in the sub-cloud appliance library. This is not for free, but it's a legal way. I can explain how to use them, how to install them, and the customers can use them for free from the SAP side. Okay, you have to pay Amazon or Google or whoever. But this is a solution that is not so bad. But to provide a demo system from my side, it will become expensive. When I have enough participants, of course, I can think of this, about this.
And then there was more fun comment, why not Wirecard for digital payments?
Good one.
Yeah, and Conrad commented, yeah, so it's perhaps the best as a private person to always register from Costa Rica. To get the VAT, you don't have to pay VAT.
When you know this details, this is and when you need a VAT ID, look in the impressum of big companies. Then you can get matching data. This is a trick you can use in many web shops, but this is only valid for electronic services. It's not for physical products, but for electronic services. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, yeah, so there were no further questions. Perhaps if something was missed out, please check into our Slack channel on the SAP Mentors and Friends, where perhaps others have follow-up questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And let's have a look on Mike Meister's recording of your session. Mike, please share. Can I put Mike in the focus?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Second. a lot of
I can.
information for this format, but I think I got some important things about what Jörg Brandeis told us, and I already have uploaded it to Twitter, so everybody can watch us on Twitter. Gregor, should I also put it onto the Slack channel?
If you like, please share it there. And what at the end, what we should do is put it on links in our wiki page.